In the Democratic Republic of Congo, a mineral-rich country in Central Africa, a horror of unfathomable proportions is unfolding. Congo stands, in fact, as the scene of the deadliest conflict our planet has witnessed since World War II. Since 1998, some 5.5 million civilians have been killed due to war-related violence, hunger, and disease. 5.5 million people. Women and girls are being targeted in particular. Hundreds of thousands have reportedly been raped in a systematic campaign to destroy entire communities by using female bodies as battlegrounds. As shocking as this situation is, it is terribly easy to be blind to it. The tragedy in Congo, after all, seems for many of us a world away. But in truth, it's not. A number of prominent American companies find themselves playing an unwitting role in the death and destruction taking place as various rebel groups, the Congolese army, and militias supported by neighboring countries clash over control of the Congo's precious mineral wealth. Indeed, the armed groups that reap enormous profits from the mineral trade in eastern Congo, more than $100 million a year, regularly slaughter innocents as they jockey to control the region's most valuable mines, transportation routes, and opportunities to impose extortionary taxes on those involved in this trade. Meanwhile, the minerals being illegally mined and transported, coltan, tin, tungsten, and gold, wind up in a host of name-brand electronic products. Computers, cell phones, digital cameras, game consoles, and more. To be clear, Congo's mineral wealth did not spark the conflict in eastern Congo, but war profiteering has become the fuel that keeps the region inflamed. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton highlighted this link between armed conflict and the minerals when she visited eastern Congo in August 2009, declaring that the world needs to do more to prevent the mineral wealth from the Congo ending up in the hands of those who fund the violence. This is why the Drucker Institute is proud to join Jewish World Watch, the Enough Project at the Center for American Progress, and others in a campaign to urge the U.S. computer and electronics industry to take concrete steps that can help end this cycle of killing. Certain electronics makers have taken some early steps to improve supply chain transparency in Congo, and they are to be commended for doing so. But much more needs to be done. We are now calling on senior executives to take an active and direct role in this issue, to live up to Peter Drucker's basic rule of professional ethics, not knowingly to do harm. Specifically, we are asking business leaders to do 3 things. 1. Personally ensure that their companies seek to trace the materials that wind up in their products back through the supply chain, all the way to the mine of origin. Every major electronics company needs to guarantee that this is a priority from the highest levels, not a task shunted to middle managers with limited reach and authority. 2. Personally urge their government affairs representatives to actively support legislation now moving through Washington aimed at improving transparency and reducing trade in conflict minerals. 3. Once they are satisfied that their products are conflict-free, market them as such. By doing so, companies can help set a standard by which the rest of the industry will also come to adhere. And they might even win over extra customers in the process, just as leading jewelry merchants have done by addressing the sale of blood diamonds. In many respects, there couldn't be a more appropriate issue for the Drucker Institute to take on. Peter Drucker, the father of modern management, author of dozens of books on organizational effectiveness, advisor to countless CEOs of leading corporations, knew firsthand the horror of war. Born in Austria in 1909, Drucker later moved to Germany and then fled the Nazis, who burned and banned some of his earliest writings. Having seen the fabric of society unravel in the worst way, Drucker rooted his philosophy in the idea that every institution, including business, must take responsibility for everyone and everything that it touches, directly or indirectly. One is responsible for one's impacts, whether they are intended or not. Drucker wrote in his classic, Management, Tasks, Responsibilities, Practices. Every month, as many as 45,000 people continue to die in Congo. Experts say that the bloodshed won't end just because the minerals problem is addressed. But unless we solve the minerals issue, they hasten to add, there is absolutely no chance of ending the conflict. Now, more than ever, it is time to remember Peter Drucker's words. Responsibility for social impacts, he declared, is a management responsibility. Join us now in our campaign to stop the trade of conflict minerals. For more information, please visit www.enoughproject.org and www.jewishworldwatch.org.